Hi everybody, Chris Shea here and welcome back to another video. First things first, I would like to mention that this video is being sponsored by Cinepunch. The folks over there reached out to me and asked me if I would be willing to review their massive asset pack bundle for Premiere Pro and After Effects. I agreed to do this because I thought this was something cool for editors and filmmakers to step up their games easily and for not a lot of money. The bundle comes with over 9,999 plus assets. I don't know why they didn't just round up to 10,000, but it's a lot. I mean, just imagine finding or creating this many things on your own. You know how much time that would take? This bundle is not a plugin, so you can use it with just about any editing program you choose. But with Premiere Pro and After Effects, they hook you up with all the extras, including a full library you can access within your projects. You get tons and tons of LUTs, color grades, lens flares, transitions, inks, fogs, film grains, mattes, and a bunch of other overlays and trailer and transition sound effects, and pretty much all of its drag and drop and just, blend it after that. If you guys have seen any of my intro or outro sequences, you'll notice a bunch of similar elements in them already. Now, the best way I thought of to show you all what this is all about is just to show you a sample of what you can do with this pack. Since there is so much of it, I just thought this would be the best way to do it. So I went ahead and created a trailer and, just a sample trailer with, I made 4 completely unrelated sequences showing off 4 different kinds of looks you can achieve. I went with dreamy, nostalgic, retro, and sinister. Then I added scary trailer sound effects and titles from the pack because why not? I decided not to add my own music so you guys can hear just what comes with the pack. So basically this is raw footage plus bundle. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what I did with it first, and then afterwards I'm going to show you guys how I put each clip together and turn boring clips into awesome sauce. Just took some pretty basic footage, boring, blah, nothing to it. Right here we have a girl who's walking through the woods. Okay, and it's just a nice, neat little sequence there. So the very first thing that I want to do is I'm going to set up an adjustment layer. I want to add some color to this. I'm going to set it over all the clips, make it easier for later. I'm going to throw the adjustment on there, cut it. Okay, so with the LUTs that they give you that come in this pack, I'm going to go over here and check this out. As you can see, that there are tons of different LUT packs, and even within them, you've got like a bunch of ones to choose from. Tons of them. Like, look at all the different folders that come with some of these. It's crazy. There's tons of them. So instead of going through each one and trying to find one, with you guys here, I went ahead and I did this ahead of time, and I found one that I thought looks good with this footage. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. So it's one of the Technicolor stocks. It's a 3-strip pop. And I liked the way that the pink LG really popped this footage out. And you guys go ahead and take a look at the before and with the color. See that? Boom, that transforms it. So like right away, right off the bat, I think that looks pretty good. But we're not done. We're going to go ahead and really spice up this footage with some of the overlays. So you're going to notice over here, they give you an entire library that you can work off of straight in Premiere Pro, which is cool. So first thing I want to do is I want to add some light overhead. So if you'll notice that this girl, she's got some light that's coming over from the right of the screen, a little bit blocked by the trees, but you can see it a little bit better in this next shot here, is where she has the light that's kind of beaming on her face a little bit. And then in the last clip, the sun is in front of her. So I want to get something that'll mimic sunlight. So the thing that I want to use with that is It's in one of the big packs, and we're going to go over to the Anamorphic Creams 4K. If you notice here that they have a 4K and an 8K version, there's a lot of footage here that is in 4K or 8K resolution, so either one that you're working with will be just fine. If you're working with 1080, hey, that's cool too, 4K, scale it down, perfectly fine. Okay, so I wanted to take one of the Anamorphic Gleams, and the cool thing is that you can preview each one before you use it. You can go ahead and check these out and see which ones work for you. I liked this one, the Gleams number 2, so I'm going to bring it over here. Now I noticed that it's not facing the direction that I want it to. I want the sun to come from the other side, so all I'm going to do here is I'm going to type in horizontal, just pull up the horizontal flip it over, and then I'm going to go ahead and change blend mode over to screen. So now you can see already that's, really just kind of making her pop, and it's looking good so far. You can see with, without, and with color. Even without color, I think it still looks pretty cool. But we're not done yet. There's even more stuff that I want to go ahead and do to this. So I'm going to go ahead and make another layer. I'm going to throw some dust on top, some speckles of dust. So we're going to go back here, and I'm going to check out the Cinedust folder, Cinedust 4K, and then I'm going to go ahead to Speckled Cine 50mm, and you can preview all different types of dust. You can get as specific as you want, but I like the number 3 over here, so I'm going to drag that on top, cut it down, and then I'm going to go ahead and set the blend mode to lighten. Now, as you can see, I'll just toggle this on and off so you can see what it did. It's a very subtle effect. It's got some speckles just floating around in the atmosphere. Just gives it a little bit of extra texture to this image here. So what I want to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to bring this up and toggle this on and off and see what that did. Oh, duplicating did absolutely nothing. But I'm going to go ahead and change the blend mode here from lighten to, I'm going to go ahead and make that soft light. You see it really darkened it up. It's a little bit too dark, but I'm going to go ahead and make that 50% opacity, and it makes it look a lot better here. It's blended it much nicer. And then the very last thing I'm going to do is I want just a little hint of fog. So I'm actually going to dive into one of the horror packs over here. So I'm going to go over to the Fright Night horror pack. I mean, there's tons of other fog in other areas, but I'm going to grab out the horror fog because I thought that looked kind of cool over there, just a little bit. And so instead of using a blend mode, I mean, you guys can play around with different blend modes if you want to, but I'm just going to make it just about 10% opacity, and you can see what that did. It's just very subtle, but I think it makes it work with this. And then finally, here to here, I wanted to just make a light flare transition. Light drops transition overlays. Go to light drops 4K, light texture white. And we can go ahead and preview a couple of these. So these are transitions, and you take the brightest part and you put it right in between your clips. You can see that these all look different here. So you can go ahead and pick whichever one you like. Of course, I chose this one. Had a lot of cool different colors in it. If you can see, there's like reds and orange and blue and all that. I thought it looked pretty fun. So I'm just going to go ahead and just scrub through and find, okay, that looks pretty bright over here. So I'm going to just zoom in real quick. Just drag this over just a little bit. And there we go. So now what I want to do is just change the blend mode over here to screen. You can pick whichever blend mode you think looks the best, but I like screen. And then we can go ahead and toggle through and see how this looks. Okay, cool. Looks like she's summoning something, and then it's just a real nice transition. The motion happens to follow. If you notice that she has her arms up here, she's throwing her arms up, and the light is going in an upward motion, so it really blends these two together nicely. So after I got done recording this section, I realized that I had forgotten to add one of the overlays into the beginning of the sequence, which in my opinion is probably the coolest one, which ties it together. I added another light wipes transition over here so you can see what this looks like, and I added it over the footage. So here's what it looks like normally. You can see it's just it's pretty cool. It's a bright kind of thing. And now I'm gonna go back into the screen mode. You see what it looks like over the footage. I think that looks just pretty awesome. Really just complements the sunlight and the colors really well here, so I had to throw this in here. Okay, so now we're going to go on to our next sequence. So this girl now, I want to throw on some color here. The color that I liked, that I wanted to go with here was Lux 105. So the theme that I was going for in the last one is I wanted kind of a romantic, dreamy feel. This one I'm going to be going for a little bit of a nostalgic look. Alrighty, so the very first thing is, of course, I'm going to throw on some light over here. Okay, so I'm going to go back into the anamorphic creams, and I'm going to put on a quick flare. Okay, so you can see what these different ones look like. Of course, I like the anamorphic 5, so I'm going to go ahead and drop that on top. And then I'll go ahead and set my blend mode to screen. And you can see right away, really adds a lot of style to that image there. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on another one. I'm going to go ahead and let's get some glam in the glam pack. Go ahead and pull out the glam pack 1 and drop it on. There's tons of these. It's like cool, like light speckles, bokeh speckles. And the one that I decided to go with this would be the glam 32. It's like a bunch of sprinkles overhead. And if you're wondering how this might look here, I'm going to trim this down. And, I scrubbed across the footage, and, it's a little bit blank at first. It comes in. What I'm going to actually do here is I'm going to go ahead and reverse this. So I'm going to go to the speed duration and reverse this. Okay, so now, got to set the blend mode to linear dodge add. And I'm just going to go ahead and scrub through this, and you can see it's got a bunch of speckles coming up with her, and then they die off, so it's going back in reverse as the sequence progresses. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the Filmmaker Assets. So I wanted to add like kind of a film reel effect, really throw this back here. So I'll go over to the Filmmaker Assets. I'm going to add some grain. For this one, I wanted to throw in some scratch damage, so I went with the 35mm scratch damage heavy, and you can see what this does here. So it has that kind of like old movie kind of thing over here. So just the blend mode, I just wanted to put it on multiply. So I've got it multiplying. It's starting to come together, starting to look like like an old film here. And just to give it that little extra bit of style, I went ahead and I put one of those film reel things on top of it. Okay, so we're just gonna go up a layer here, go into the raw mats, and then the home movie mats, and the Harry projector static I thought was pretty cool here. I'm going to go ahead and multiply this one. It looks kind of cool having a little bit of a transparency on the sides here, but if you want to avoid that, just real simple, just go ahead and just drag it up and duplicate it. Okay, so I just want to add a little bit more style to this clip here, make this look a little bit spicier. So I'm going to drop back into the 5K, go to the transition overlays here again, light drops 4K. I want to use a flare flow light wipe. So for this one, you can see what they look like. These are cool as transitions, but you can also use them on your footage too. I mean, just regular as you will. This is cool. It's just a little, I liked the colors in here. I thought this was nice. It would look good over a projector. I'm going to go ahead and throw a screen on top of this. There you go. If you think this is too bright, you can throw down the opacity a little bit, make it 55% or, whatever you like. So the next thing, I'm going to transition a film reel look into a VHS look. So I thought the cool way to do that would be with one of their preset transitions. And I think this is a fun element to show you guys, is all the transitions that come here. So I'm going to go ahead into the transition punch. You click on the folder and you can actually preview all of the transitions before you throw them on the timeline, which I think is really awesome. I like glitch 11, so I'm going to go with that. And if you notice that there's already a cut in there when you pull it off. So that's cool. So you know exactly where you need to line it up. On the Lup Master Pack 1, they have this 80s HC. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go pop that on there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this and pop this right above. I'm going to set the blend mode here to multiply. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and throw a VHS mat on top. So just going to go ahead into the disruption assets and the mats. VHS mat sequences, cool, you can preview each one of the the old screen static. I happen to like number 5, so I'm going to go ahead and drag that, pull it out, and I'm going to go and set the blend mode to exclusion.
So this looks pretty cool here, but I don't like how it takes up the whole screen, so I'm just gonna uncheck the uniform scale. I'm going to just pull the width and make that 75% to fit with my screen over here. Let's go over here, scrub, see how that looks. Kind of looks like an old video. I think it's pretty awesome and simple, and all the different ones that you can choose and go ahead and get it the way you like it. So for the next one, I have a horror sequence that I wanted to set up just random shots. Like, this is just a random cabin in the woods. Here's another one that has, you know, a witch coming outside. Yeah, she just opens the door and just comes outside. So we're going to make this into a little mini horror movie. So I'm going to go ahead and change the color on here. So they have horror styles here. They have a bunch of horror color LUTs. The one I liked for this one was the Dark Corners Horror. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out and just, boom, look at that. Instant horror movie. One more thing is I forgot, you know, transition. Let's pop into transition real quick. And go over to glitches again. And this first one over here is pretty crazy, and I like it. Pull this out and drop it right here in the middle. So I'm just going to go back into the big packs here and go into the Fright Night Horror Pack. So, okay, so right over here they have this like vintage, scary looking reel thing, and I think it's nice that it makes a nice vignette over the top too. And then go ahead and multiply it. Okay, so, you know, check that out. Now we've got a scary looking movie. Alrighty, well, they give you some fog too. I'm going to go with some horror fog here again. I like myself some horror fog. But this time I'm going to go over to linear dodge add. So now it's just really creating a nice mist across the woods. Okay, so now we're scrubbing through, and oh man, that makes this boring shed, which, you know, has nothing to do with anything, look pretty creepy. I mean, let's go ahead and take this off, and boom, it's just a shed that's not doing anything, and now it's a scary movie. How awesome is that? Okay, so now we've got, you know, she's about to open the door. So I think, you know, I'm going to go ahead and scrub to the point where she does open the door, and I'm going to throw a transition on that real quick, just to make her kind of pop out and look scarier. Pull up one of the zooms, because, you know, horror movies need good, sudden zooms in them, of course. Just drop this right here, right in the middle of where my cursor is. Boom, scary. So now to end this clip here, as you can see, she pretty much does the same thing, it just lingers there. So I'm going to use another transition to end this and make it look really cool. So for this last one, I'm just going to throw on the zoom spin here. Go ahead and check this out. Boom. Just like in your face.
Alrighty, well, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys found some inspiration here. If you guys are looking to pick up this bundle for yourself or any of the packs that come with it, the link is in the description down below, as well as some other cool links that you guys might want to check out. If you guys know any friends or anybody else that might be interested in this, be sure to share it with them, because, you know, sharing is caring, and we all care about each other, right? Alrighty, well, thank you guys again. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.